And then you're welcome back. So we had Eddie Brennan with us last night talking about Ballyhale and how he thinks TJ Reid is the GOAT as we reflect on a busy weekend across the country when it came to county finals. Another county final caught the eye. Ratoath of Meath, football champions. They beat Summerhill 12 points to 11. Their manager, Mr. David Brady, is with us on the line. Congratulations. Hello.
Joe, buddy, how's things? How are you keeping?
Very well. I presume you've had a nice couple of days?
Look, it's sure every day is nice. Every day is nice. But look, I have to say, it's probably brought me back down to earth and what reality and what football is about, and immersing myself in club football. I have to say, it was a humbling experience, and very proud of the players and the club and the community and what Ratoath is. And I've been, I don't know, 10 or 11 years, Joe, 15 years talking to yourself about other teams, and it's I'm proud to talk about my own team and Ratoath.
To what extent were you looking to get back involved? This is your first year with Ratoath.
Yeah, it was. And look, we've had them conversations, I think, offline a few times, and it really, for me, I know we talk about, but predominantly over the last whatever about inter-county and the stars of, and I probably lost a little bit of in touch with what really football is. But for me, club football and the county final for Ratoath on Sunday epitomised what GA is. And again, I had no real connection with Ratoath. Ironically, I remember during lockdown calling a man that lived nearly at the gate of Ratoath GA, doing a call to him, an old man, and it's. Again, he came up to me on Sunday before we departed for Park Dalton, and it kind of really epitomises what club means to a lot of people. And I'm happy it kind of has awoken what really football for me and what I think a lot of people at this time of the year, but throughout the year is about. It's about your club and your community and where you come from. And I've learned so much of what Ratoath means to people. First and foremost, the players and how important it is to them and what it does from a community perspective. But again, it's say like the likes of Conor McGill, who's our captain. His father Shay, is an integral part of the club, and his mother, Mr. McGill, then was dishing out food to us on Sunday evening, and and then you have the likes of Brian McMahon's father John come up to me with tears in his eyes. And look, it was lovely to know what club means to a lot of people, and it's the players. I think I can say I've never met a group of players as committed, but I've never met a group of players that understand what it means and what they deliver. And it's not about entitlement or success. It's about what it means for others, and that's for me. It was brilliant and humbling.
Yeah, it sounds lovely, I have to say. I saw you in advance of the game. You were talking to the local media, and even though Ratoath have won, well, they've now won 3 in 4 years, but in advance of this year, they'd won in 2019 under Davy Byrne and 2020 under Brian Farrell, and this was your first year. So even though you'd won over the last couple of years, you were saying Summerhill were the favourites pre-match. They'd beaten you in a league game. They'd beaten Wolf Tones, the defending champions, and you were saying we've failed to set it alight thus far, whereas they have set it alight. So it's close finish, 12 points to 11. You felt they were slight favourites going in?
Well, you have to be respectful, and as I said to someone, I talked them up anyway, but the reality was they hadn't lost a game all year and hadn't conceded a goal since May. And I said to the boys afterwards in the Summerhill dressing room that we must have watched I don't know how many hours of footage and how to break them down and how to score a goal. They still didn't concede a goal. And that was testament to their ability and fantastic group of players. And there was some individual one-on-one battles, and again, they know each other so well. And again, I understand it, but it's not a manager. It's not about David Brady, the manager, and it's about a bigger picture in club, a massively bigger picture. And again, from my own personal perspective, what you call in Dublin my next door neighbour, Kevin Stritch, a Roscommon man who is absolutely I have to say, a phenomenal coach. But he's in not with me. We're together. We have like the likes of Maguire, another great fella, doing our S&C, helping us, and a guy Aidan Shevlin from Donegal, and it's just that our the most important there for me, person in the setup for me is our kit man as well. And I said it 10 months ago, the 21st of January, that I said, boys, there's a person we need, and it's a kit man, and that's someone that will do more work than me as a manager, and will be an integral part and more important part than me. And it happened to be that I found a my own man in Ratoath, Killian McNamara, and Killian is it's just all these little nuances that make a team or make a bond and make a spirit. And we have 38 players in the panel, as a lot of clubs. Well, we can't, it's not about 1 to 15, and that is we've 1 to 38. And I said to the boys, and a lot of them, I could close my eyes and pick any one of them out and say, in your row. And that's the beauty of it. And it's the spirit is a lot. And club, I forgot what club finals was like. And 15 years to the day was my last, what you might call, the Monday club. It was the last time I played for the Stephenites in Ballina. The Stephenites go and win Sunday, and they're in their county final now in 2 weeks' time. I'm in Meath, of all places, from a my own Meath perspective, but it is very, very, very important.
Yeah. Geez, it sounds like you're in love with it. How often?
I do.
How often does 96 get mentioned to you?
There's a few times now towards the end of the game on Sunday, if I'm being honest with you. There was one or two references from the behind the wire. we bet you we batted you in '96 and we batted you again today. But and that's it. And you know what about? And I didn't know this in Meath, but I never really experienced it. I remember talking to John Casey after beating him in a county final once, that he wouldn't talk to me for 6 weeks afterwards. But there's kind of a tradition that the losing team comes and joins the winning team for a pint. Now, last night that happened. I'm told at around 1:30 in Copperface Jack last night, and that's lovely. The Summerhill team, the Ratoath team, having pints together, having a few drinks, and having a chat. That's good, and that's very important. Very important, because it is, everyone puts in so much work, and it is that you have to say we've sacrificed a lot, but they have that moment to enjoy themselves and let their hair down, both the winning team and the runners up.
It was, I suppose it made national news as well. There was obviously a bit of a coming together towards the end of the game, players, and you were half involved, I think, shouting in from a bit of a distance from what I saw. And Conor Gillespie, the Summerhill manager, was involved as well. And then I think he thought you dunted him, and so he gave you a shoulder. And in fairness to him, it's quite refreshing to see his post-match comments, because what he said about the incident, just for anyone who didn't see it, was he said, I turned around, I got a dunt in the back. At the time, I interpreted that David had dunted me, and to be fair, he hadn't. He was just standing in his position. I turned around into him, but I thought he had dunted me, and I reacted to that, and I shouldered him to the ground. To be fair, the fault for that lies on my behalf. I misinterpreted the situation. I reacted in a poor way and paid the price, and cost my team a minute or two of play as well. So it was an example of poor leadership that was punished. I mean, in fairness, no one's perfect, and we do need to get this out of the GAA. Like, it's not to condone it totally, but you can respect somebody who just holds their hands up as well.
It's you know what? For me, it's an example of great leadership. That we all have a little moment, and Conor, it probably epitomises what Summerhill bring to the table and what their team is and their ethos is. He's straight away, and you're going to yourself, and it was look, you can blown out of all proportion. It was something small. But myself and Conor chatted afterwards, and even long after the game, we had a conversation. And sure, it's the man says it's minuscule. And when I said to you that both teams in Copperface Jacks last night, that's testament to what went on. What went down was a county final that was absolutely nip and tuck all the way. People, I had a perception, if I'm being honest, of football going into it, and my perception has been turned its head from an ability and talent right across the county. That when I didn't know one end of Meath to the other, but I know it now. But I know there's a fine crop of players. Some on the county team and others that won't or aren't on the county team, but should be and will be. I'd hope, and I think Colin O'Rourke would identify those players. But it's by no means it's not the county that my opinion has been enlightened.
Hmm. I thought you went down easy as well, to be honest with you. A little dramatic.
I went out to the door today and there was 2 Oscars outside it.
Hands in the air, rolling over, motionless on the ground. A1.
The man said, if you get an opportunity and go down, stay down. And I smelled a bit of grass for a while. And look, that's I'm not the most experienced manager in the world, but I've been around a good few that have taught me well.
So look, you've plenty to look forward to now. You've rowed in the Leinster Championship November 6th. I'm sure you're looking forward to that. Is this all done with the view to get a county job at some stage?
Honest to God, I have nothing on my mind, and it was only I've always said I've been probably too superstitious in my football life that man says I do the same things and I replicate everything, but I was afraid of my life to look at events. Someone had said to me about a quarter final or semi-final. I'm going, don't talk to me about it. I don't want to talk about it. And we had that rule in the team that you look forward. Again, from a road perspective, I would not let my mind waver on it because we had a massive battle ahead of us, and it is now I can have the reality of yes, Road, who are kingpins of Offaly for the last 2 decades nearly. A fine team and a major challenge to us. So yeah, look, I'm the future for me is under the next 2 weeks from the next 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
But when you took the job, were you thinking, well, this will be part of a bigger plan and hopefully get a county job?
Honestly, no, because the answer is this. I have ambitions in life, and it's just to enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I said to the boys, it's awful important when I met them. And we think about a country or an organisation, the GA, that's coming out of COVID, that didn't have the opportunity to, be normal or celebrate or, behind closed doors, you got out of your car, you went to training, you got back in your car. I said it's awful important to have. And if you don't enjoy what you do and you don't have fun, that becomes a chore. I have to say we've had great crack, absolutely great crack, and the fun is the most important part of it. You can't do something, 4 nights a week. Them boys have been absolutely phenomenal. In the gym on a Monday, every Monday, the 21st of January, 4 nights a week. We have to have fun, and we've had a good bit of fun over even on the pitch. It's hard and it's intense and it's serious, but the fun is an awful important element because that's what you get the enjoyment out and the sacrifice that wives and girlfriends and partners and families commit to that is I hope it was repaid in some way, shape, or form from a community perspective on site by the Ratoath players.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and you could see the scenes and what it meant to them. So when you try and keep a bit of fun in things, because it can get repetitive, I'm sure. Are there any David Brady quirks thrown in there? Like, have you got these lads mud wrestling on a Tuesday the odd time, or are you taking them to Quasar and stuff?
I don't know that I'm telling you. I say sometimes I come up with some stuff that I do see the boys laughing. Oh, what does he have to say? But all you can be is yourself. You can't be anything else, and that's all I ask from players as well. But we have a few things that I won't be telling you live on air about, but it is good, and it's collective. It's collective. Like we have guys. Ross does our stats, and die-hard clubman, but the hours he puts into it, I'm going. I said, you're mad. He goes, I'm not mad. I love it, and that's if you don't love it, you don't do it, and everyone involved loves what we do. And again, it was a massive weekend for club football, GA, and it was just, you're kind of going on the phone afterwards. I was going, to Ballina win, and because I wouldn't look at the phone from 1 o'clock onwards because we were what we call in the zone. But just county finals, club semi-finals, and it really is. And I do think from a split season point of view, it gives guys an opportunity to live life when they don't have championship. But then when championship comes on, I think it really is illuminated from a country perspective when you have counties, and I see Ken McCud winning the Dublin championship now as a someone that's living in Dublin. It was just it's great. It's great.
And so look, you're in your first year here with Ratoath, so you don't have like the last 5 years to compare it with in personal experience, but maybe you've chatted to the players. I don't know. Are they all fans of the split season? Has it worked out well for them?
It kind of has, yeah. Because I said, boys, look, if you want to go away, go away. But don't go away after the end of June, because it'll go against you. And you have 6 months, and again, you have to have planning, and it allows them to plan their life a little. And we had fellas. We have 7. We have 7, nearly 8 players on the county team. But they've had. You think about this now. For the last 12 or 13 weeks, 7 players on our team, 11 of the football panel have championship every single weekend. Hurling football. They lost the hurling final in Ratoath last Sunday, and they turn her around 6 days later and play a county football final. They've had championship every single week, but it's testament to the coach and the S&C and the players themselves, because from a motivation and a fitness point of view and a fatigue point of view, they've managed it unbelievably well, and we haven't had any of the guys pull a hamstring or have these, because it's a massive load. But my number one priority walking in, and I said, boys, it's about you as a person. If you create a person, you can create from that. If my priority is a person, you can create a team, and that's very important, that they're looked after and not ran ragged
or feeling flogged.
Out.
Yeah, you know what the dream is, don't you?
Hey, look, we're all dreaming.
Well, I tell you, the dream is All Ireland final. Ratoath versus Ballina Stephen.
Oh, stop! Look, I have to. Oh, anyway, look. I got a few texts on Sunday. All right, going. There's not. My dream is to do everything we can in the next 2.5 weeks, and focus on road, who will be as hard as any All Ireland club final. Let me tell you. And but no, there's no room for dreaming right now, Joe.
All right. Well, listen, when you're the Mayo manager in 2030, I'm going to remind you telling me there was no bigger plan here when you took this job.
Yeah. I'll text you afterwards after this call.
Okay. Listen, congrats. Amazing. Nice to win a county championship as a manager. Good man. Good to talk. Likewise. David Brady, Ratoath manager, Meath champions. They beat Summerhill over the weekend, 12 points to 11.